Hello, children and young people. Today we are going to be talking about how to avoid making a bad situation worse. Who here has ever held a grudge for far too long and dragged something out that really you should have let that go way back? Well, if you'd like to know how to avoid the temptation of dragging things out and holding grudges for too long, then just keep on watching. And this, my friends, is your reminder to subscribe. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click the red subscribe button. Click the notification bell so that you get notified the next time I upload a video. And go ahead and just give it a thumbs up straight away, would you? Because I can't guarantee what's going to come out of my mouth next and if the content's any good or not. But if you've already liked it, kind of doesn't matter. Alright, so we're going to be talking today about how it is that sometimes we need to let things go and move on. Now, here's the challenge. The challenge is that when you are a young person, sometimes it feels very difficult to get your voice heard because you don't necessarily get to make many of the rules, and someone else tells you which rules you will be sticking to and when you will be sticking to them. And this goes on for years. A considerable period of your life is spent with other people telling you what's what, rather than being able to make your own decisions. And some of those can be really petty things, like get your teeth brushed now, please. Sometimes those things are a bit more significant, like, no, you are going to go to school in the morning. But there are all of these things that are really outside of your control, and at times it feels as if you just want to have the opportunity to make some of your own rules. And to have a little bit more authority over where your time and energy goes rather than someone else dictating it to you. This I appreciate most when you are tired, and you are tired a lot of the time because you get worked really hard at school and with homework and with clubs and everything else that you do. Your brain is growing, your body is growing, you are going through an entire process of learning about every single thing that crosses your path, and people still have the audacity, they have the blooming cheek to tell you what to do with the time that you have left over to yourself. But here's the thing, ultimately you want to have as easy and as happy a life as possible. With whatever free time you have available to you, my guess is you'd really like it to be enjoyable. But I'm going to say this. I love you. And I trust you. But sometimes I think you might be making your own problems much worse than they really needed to be. And this happens because you don't let go and move on quickly enough. You're too busy wanting to make your point that then the point actually ends up getting lost completely because it just seems as though you have a bad attitude, or you're grumpy all the time, or you are, what's the word for, like, where you refuse to do stuff. You're just obnoxious, reluctant, I don't know. One of those sorts of things where there's a lot of refusal coming from you. And actually, you would use up far less time, far less energy, and have much less emotion sent out from your body if you just get on with it and do the thing. Or do the thing, have a moan, and then move on and forget about it. There is very rarely any good sense in making things worse just to make a point, because your point gets lost in the fact that you had made it worse, and it doesn't do anything for the argument that you have. if you want to address things, there are ways in which you can do it. But by pushing back or sulking or fighting or arguing, those things are rarely gonna get you what you want. They will just slow down the argument and drag it out more painfully over a longer period of time. And that might feel like there's some justice in doing that to the other people that are concerned, but it won't be nice for you either. It doesn't do you any favors. And then when you do have a really appropriate and valid point to make, people will be less interested. They will be less invested in hearing what you have to say because of how you've behaved and reacted in the past. Sometimes there are rules in place and you just have to suck it up. Now, this isn't just because your parents, your teachers, or whoever is enforcing these rules are unpleasant people. Actually, they're just preparing you for the real world. Because when you get to the real world and you have laws and bosses, this isn't a wind machine, by the way, the window's open. You have laws and bosses and other people that you're responsible to, other people that you have to live rules by. You know, even when you have a family of your own, you have your own children, there are certain rules that you have to live by in order to help them flourish and grow and function as independent people themselves. So the whole world is filled with rules and things that you can and cannot do. So the more you get used to not just doing those things, but, you know, having the resistance when it's right to do so, but it's about having it in the right way. And at other times, yeah, you do just need to suck it up and just get on with it and be mature and move on. So my suggestion to you is this: make your maturity in how you deal with the issue bigger than the problem. Because if you make your immaturity bigger than the problem, then the problem isn't going to go away. And sometimes it's just about having perspective. It's about picking your battles and knowing what things are worth complaining and grumbling about and refusing to do, and what things you are better off just cracking on and doing and getting it out of the way and fitting in with the circumstances that are going on around you, and to some extent trusting that they are there for a reason, that they're there to support you, and that they're there to make everything else, like lots of things have a knock-on effect on other things. So it's important that you play your part so that the world around you can continue to function in the way that it's supposed to. It's not always easy to stick to the rules and to let those rules slide without challenging them, especially when they don't make sense. But getting used to living with those rules is also part of your responsibility when it comes to living in society and making sure that your wheelie bin's brought in on a Tuesday evening, or that your dog gets walked and doesn't just stand outside in the garden barking all day, or that you pay your taxes on time, and all of these other things that are going to be thrust upon you in the adult world anyway. So choose carefully. I think that's the point. That's the point of what I'm saying to you today, is choose carefully. Do you really want to string out an argument for so long that it causes so much discomfort and uses up so much of your energy and makes everyone feel so miserable, including you? Or actually, would it just be easier to get on and do the thing and follow the rules anyway? I will let you ponder that. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I will see you all in my next video. Bye!